What's going on, Ham Radio Nation? Here we are. This is part 3 of the how to build a DMR hotspot for under $50. Now, in the previous videos, we actually went through and showed you how to build the hotspot from parts and components. I'll link that video up here for you. That is the first in the series. The second video, we went through the whole process of how to flash the operating system onto a micro SD card, and we put it into the DMR hotspot and powered it up for the first time and let it start loading the software in. Well, now that software is loaded in and it's up and running. So what we're going to do is I'm going to flip the screen over here and let you see the computer screen, and I'm going to show you how to get into the initial setup of the Pi-Star. All right, guys, so here we are. First thing we're going to do is we're going to drop over here to our networks. We're going to jump into the Pi-Star setup, and we're going to connect. Now, it's going to bring up MSN. I really don't know what the link is between the two, but it seems to want to bring that up every time. But what we're going to do is we're going to type in HTTP semicolon //pi-star/admin/enter. And that brings us into our dashboard for our Pi-Star digital voice. Now, there's no mode defined. That's the first thing you see. Within 10 seconds, it automatically flips you over and takes you in. Right off the bat, you see a whole bunch of information that makes absolutely no sense, and we're not going to worry with any of that right now just this minute. We're going to scroll straight down here into this first red section, and we're going to say configure Wi-Fi. Now, I'm in the US, so we're going to click on to here, and I'm going to select the country code of US. Now, if you're in a different country, you may have to go online and search that out to figure out exactly which one you need to use, but that's what we're going to use for here. And now we're going to scan for network. And it takes just a few seconds here for it to actually go through and do the scans. And there we are. So we've got a couple of different options. I know that the one that I want to use is this 2.4 power tools right here. So we're going to do it. And it's the SSID. Your PSK is your actual password for your Wi-Fi. If your password for your Wi-Fi is 123456, you're going to put 123456 right here where it says PSK. Now I'm going to enter my password, and now I'm going to click Save and Connect. Save that there. All right. So that should have stored the information in there. We're going to refresh this. We'll do apply changes right here above it. And what that apply changes button does is basically just going to restart the Pi-Star itself. And there we go. We are starting to reboot. All right, so it's rebooted, and you'll see that it still says interface is down. Now I'm just going to click on configure Wi-Fi again. All the information is here except for it didn't keep our country code. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to change it again. And I'm going to click Save and Connect. Still going to tell me that the interface is down, but we're going to apply the changes again. And guys, if you're using the Raspberry Pi 0W, it's a relatively slow board when you're doing programming and stuff like this. Once you get it set up for DMR, it works fine. You don't have any problem with it. You just have to be a little patient here at the beginning, getting everything started. And here we are restarting again. Okay. And you're going to notice right here, it still says interface is down. So there's a little trick to this. You're going to have to power down your Pi-Star and then power it back up to get it to go through the boot sequence again. This thing is not as smart as your computer. It's actually got to go through its own boot sequence. So we're just going to close this, and then we're going to disconnect the power on our Pi-Star here. We're going to let it set for a second, and then we're going to power it back up. Now, like I said, this thing is a little bit slow. So you're going to have to give it probably 90 seconds to boot up. And then once it boots back up, we'll hop back in here and we'll start working on configuration. All right, guys. So we are booted back up on our Raspberry Pi. We're going to do HT colon // pi dash star / admin. You'll get to where you memorize that string right there. What gets you in. Now, because we've changed some things, it's telling us our connection's not private. So we've got to enter a username and a password. So our username, now that we're in here, going to be PI, all lowercase by the way, dash star, RASPDERI. Now you'll see we're back in here. We're on the dashboard configuration here. There's nothing going on here. We've got a little bit of information, but what we're going to do is we're going to click on this configuration tab up here in the corner. And like I said, guys, this thing is a little bit slow, so you just have to be patient with it. Now we're going to scroll down. There we go. There's all of our Wi-Fi information. We are connected to the Wi-Fi, so we've got that set up now. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up to the very top, Pi Star 5.10.11 plus. We're running a Pi 0W revision 1.1. And then it gives you your CPU load and your CPU temperatures. We're not so much worried about that stuff. First thing is going to be controller software. We are doing MMDV host. That is what we want to use. And we want to do it in a simplex node. Now, there's different settings for different types of units. So don't take this with every unit. This is going to be based on the parts and configuration that I showed you in that first video. So now we're going to come down here and we're going to select DMR mode. We're going to come down to MMDVM display type. And it is an OLED type 3. We're going to leave this as DEV/TTYAMAO. We're not going to change that. And in the next gen layout, we're just going to leave it at the G4KLX. Now, if you'll remember back, I told you that, not to worry about the display. This is where we're fixing that issue. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click apply changes. And guys, anytime you make a change in one of these fields, before you go make a change in something else, click apply changes. It's a time consuming process, I know, and this thing is slow. I'm going to speed it up in the video process most of the time just to get you through it, but just keep that in mind. And that's the only thing we have to change up here. All right. So we are back up now, and we've got everything configured in this first box. We're going to come down here to this next box, and we're going to leave this as Pi Star right now. You can change your host name. You can change your password. You can do any of that you want to, but for simplistic reasons, we're going to leave that there. I'm going to come right here. This is going to be my call sign, K2RCL. Now you have to have a DMR ID. If you don't already have one of these, I'll do a video in a bit on how to get a DMR ID. But you're going to have that, and you're also going to have a Brandmeister account with a password, and we'll do videos for that as well. You're going to do 317-8423. That is my DMR ID. That's what's going to display on the screen when I key down and send information. I'm not going to worry about latitude and longitude. You can go over to Google Maps, and you can find your location and you can put your latitude and longitude in there. As far as town goes, well, I'm in Greenville. That's going to be South Carolina. Country, I'm in USA. And then URL. This is kind of confusing right here. But this is basically just information that's sent with your packet as far as what information is there. You can put any website address in there that you want to. It really doesn't matter. Now we get into modem type. You're going to open up this drop down menu and start coming down, and you're going to come to STM32-DVM/MMDVM_HS Raspberry Pi hat. That is your selection for this unit. As far as node type, I've left it set to private and I haven't had any problems. Some people have had to switch it to public to get it to work. We're just going to go ahead and select public. It's probably going to give us a warning at some point about it, and we're just not going to worry about it. We'll just keep moving on. APR host is Euro APRS2.net. We'll leave that there. And then system time zone. You're going to have to set this for your area. And I can't remember. Let's see. America. Chicago. Let me see if they've got New York here. I think so. Yep. America, New York. So that's going to be our Eastern time. Dashboard language for me, we're going to change it from English UK to English US. And a lot of this is set because you're downloading this from the UK site. All right, so now we're going to click Apply Changes. All right, guys, there we go. We're back up now. We're going to scroll back down to this next box section where it says DMR Master. Now, this is going to be based on your location. Again, some of this stuff is specific. I can't give it to you as far as, just every application is exactly the same. Some things are going to be different. But we've got Brandmaster, United States. I select the 3102 for the US. Now, this is where you've got to have a Brandmaster account and you've got to get it approved and all that good stuff. But this is where we're going to put in our hotspot security, and that allows our hotspot to talk to Brandmaster. I'm going to enter my password here. And then we'll see here my DMR ID is right here. It's already put in. We're going to leave this set to none. DMR color code to 1. DMR embedded only is off. And dumpty data is on. So now we click Apply Changes. All right, guys, so it's starting up. And you can see the OLED screen is lighting up now. So that means we've got that configuration setting correct. That'll be really useful once we start getting into the aspect of transmitting and receiving. But now that everything is restarting here, we're going to let it completely open up. And there we go. So guys, I'm just going to scroll down through here real slow so you can review the configuration. This is all the settings that you're going to set right now. You've got your Wi-Fi configured. You've got your DMR ID in there. You're operating on Brandmaster. So everything is set and ready to go. Now it's just a matter of programming your radio. And you can change this frequency out to something different if you would like to. It comes standard at 438.800. The choice is really yours on how you want to program, or if you have a code plug that you already have that has the DMR frequency in it for a hotspot, you can set it to that frequency. All right, so guys, this is it. I mean, it's not too terribly bad to set up a DMR hotspot. It took me a little research and a little time to figure some of this stuff out. There was nights I beat my head on the desk trying to configure it. But that is the initial setup phase of it. That gets everything programmed into it so you can expand from there. The next step that we'll have to go through in the next video is figuring out the frequency offset, which we'll do in the next video. And then the flip side to that is we want to do a BER test, which I'll do in another video, showing you what your percentages are to tell you if you're in range. You're also going to have to come up with a code plug. We'll try to share some information on that. Each region is different. Each area is different. There's numerous people that does numerous code plugs out there, and there's plenty of ways of programming and things of that nature. But we'll try to help out with that aspect as well. But guys, listen, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure and hit that subscribe button. Tick that bell so you get notified when we give you another video on this DMR hotspot. Give us a thumbs up, like I said. Drop comments or questions down below. And as always, thank you for watching.